If you don't want me at my lowest lows, you do not deserve me at my highest highs. That 'tis what Bitcoin is screaming to the world right now. Another day, another dip for Bitcoin, and the markets are in extreme fear. People are thinking crypto is dead, and many are cashing out, some at big losses. Well, we never fear the reaper. We've been through this before. You know our intro. It's time for chicocrypto. Well, yes, it's a fearful time in the markets. The crypto greed and fear index is in deep fear, aka extreme fear. And as we can see, it's been like this for all days, yesterday, last week, and even last month. We haven't been budging whatsoever. Well, the old investing tip coined by Warren Buffett says, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. So that would typically mean this has been a buy zone for the past month. We've been in extreme fear. Within what many are calling a crab market, the price is just bouncing up and down between 36K to 30K. Although lately it has been deflating slowly but surely down to that 30K low. But be greedy when others are fearful, and some whales are doing just that, accumulating at these lows while the retail markets look like deer in the headlights, straight fearful, and some are selling into their hands. For example, yesterday a whale transferred 1,395 BTC from Coinbase to an unknown wallet. What that looks like to me is an over $42 million purchase from Coinbase and a transfer to their cold wallet. The millionaires, those with massive amounts of capital, are buying the dip and buying into the fear. That is the beauty of BTC. We can see exactly what is going on through on-chain data, buys, sells, what type of investor, retail or whale can be seen by the blockchain. It's why Bitcoin and crypto are so freaking special. And it's not just one whale move. And Ecoinometrics put out a great blog post titled Ecoinometrics On-Chain Trends. And in it, they covered this cycle compared with other cycles. But below, they covered accumulation by different levels of Bitcoin held in wallets since October 2020, aka retail versus whales, in a nice little heat map. As we can see from the heat map, small addresses less than 1 BTC accumulated from January all the way up to the big correction, and then they started selling in the downtrend. This is majority retail. Although medium fish 1 to 100 BTC started decreasing their holdings since the mid 20Ks. And then the big fish 100 to 1000 BTC increased their stacks from the move 30K to 60K, but not much selling in the downtrend back to 30K. And finally the big nasty whales 1K to 10K BTC started unloading at 30K. But now that we are back to that level, they have begun accumulating once again, which is even seen more clearly in that whales group zoomed in heat map below. Ecoinometrics continues to compare this cycle to others in their blog, but then they say this based on their data, and I frickin' love it. So it's possible that some whales felt it was too much too fast, and that triggered some selling pressure, which led to the topping process at 64K. When FUD was added to the situation, the small fish also stopped accumulating, resulting in the minus 55% correction we are in right now. Since BTC stabilized around 30K, things have changed though. Whales and small fish have started accumulating again, while other categories have turned neutral, which they show in their chart and heat map below. And finally they conclude, if that interpretation is correct, then what we had with this correction is a reset. Would that trend continue? There is only one direction Bitcoin can go, and that's up. There are two ways it can go, but I totally agree with that. We got way too hot, way too quick into this cycle. And I've been saying this for some time, that this cycle's top would be around 100K. We reached 64K, 64% of the way to my predicted top in just 3 months into 2021 by March. And it only took us 3.5 months to 3x from 20K and break the old all-time high from the 2017 cycle of 20K. So let's just go back to that past, the last cycle of 2017. The top for that cycle was basically 20K. We didn't break the old all-time high from the previous cycle, 2013's 1200, until March of that year. And it had more steady, sustained growth throughout the year. Now 60% of the way to that cycle's top of 20K is 12K. We didn't hit that 60% of the way mark all the way until the end of the year, early December. The 20K peak was hit not months, but days later at the end of December. 2017 was more of a sustained run with a blow off top hype cycle, which came in just a month. This time, if it's over around 64K was the peak, we hit 60% of the way to the top around 36K or so months before, not days like last time. And the same goes for the cycle before, 2014. About 1200 was the top reached early December. 60% of the way to that, about 729 bucks. And that wasn't reached until November 21st. Days, not months until the top. Is all chicocrypto has to say. Why so different this time? Well, things are much different for Bitcoin this time, and we gotta go to the stock to flow model S2F, which is the most widely used and recognized long-term chart of Bitcoin price, and it's showing a massive divergence not seen ever before, even getting more out of the model's range than during the 2019 crash to 3K. So Bitcoin has a tad bit more it can break down to keep it in the model's outer limits, but a breakdown to something like 20K would invalidate this model. It's not the only stock to flow model either. All major price prediction models would be broken. The decade-long bull trend would be reversed. It would basically be a signal that BTC has been taken over by the Wall Street bears, something they have never been able to accomplish because they didn't believe in the asset. So the $100,000 and eventually even $1 million question, if we look to stock to flow, is who is in control of Bitcoin? The old school OG crypto whales or the Wall Street bears? I think many people know my opinion. I still believe this run isn't over. There are Wall Street bears and even crypto bears looking to take it down, but the OGs are still in control, and in my opinion, they're going to pull off a last hurrah for this cycle and keep the model fully intact for as long as they can, because they need people to believe. They need retail to believe. And the old Willie Wooster, top trader, highly respected analyst, showed that yes, retail is still believing even at these low numbers. Over the weekend, he tweeted, chart, weekly net flows to small holders of less than 1 BTC. It's retail that drives Bitcoin bull markets. When they stop buying, that's a bear market warning. They haven't stopped buying. Last 30 days, whales sold 4K BTC, plebs bought 31K BTC. Retail plebs are buying and whales are selling? Wait, I thought whales are accumulating. That's what Econometrics said. Well, Willie is taking whales as a whole. Net whales, the small whales, mid-sized whales, and the large whales. And this data is only over the past 30 days. The large whales have been accumulating too, especially in the 30K range. So why do I think the OGs are still in control of these markets? Well, the Dow had its worst day for the year yesterday, even outshining the ugly days of early January. As we can see from the charts, we had 3 days in January, the 4th, 27th, and the 29th with big one-day losses. And we were in a Bitcoin bull market back then, in the midst of one, and Bitcoin in that time crashed from 40K to 30K, a crash of 25%. In Finance 1.0, aka Stonks, we have a day that outdoes any seen in January, yet Bitcoin barely falls? I wonder why it's hodling the 30K level so hard. In my opinion, they need to keep the models intact. It don't matter what the stonk market is gonna do right now. We will hodl the line and keep within the S2F outer range. That doesn't mean 28K could be coming very soon, as it will still be in the lower outer limits. But if it's like January and we have a 25% dip because of what stonks are doing, that would take us down to 23K out of the range. The OGs are saying no, no, no. And guys and gals, tomorrow there is the B-Word conference where Jack Dorsey, Cathie Wood of ARK Invest, and Elon Musk will be on a panel together. 3 Bitcoin bulls, and Tesla is a Bitcoin whale. And this is big as Elon is finally confirmed to be going. They added him to the B-Word website. Using Wayback Machine, they didn't have him on the website even last week, July 15th. And ain't it just suspicious that Cathie Wood decided to make a big buy of Square stock just before the B-Word conference? Decrypt covered it. ARK Invest buys another $54 million in Bitcoin adjacent Square stock. And then, just before this, July 8th, Tesla stock was bought by ARK Invest and Cathie for the first time in over a month since Elon went on his Bitcoin hate tirade. What do they have up their sleeves? As these are not Wall Street bears, but the Wall Street Bitcoin bulls. Cheers. I'll see you next time.